Hi, it's Miss Pritzl, and I'm book talking a historical fiction book called They Went Left, and the author it's Monica Hesse. I think it's Hesse, not Hesse. All right, so this is basically it's a Holocaust survivors book, and what was most interesting to me, I ended up Googling and watching a lot of videos about this because there's a lot of books about the Holocaust. This one focuses, and there's that in there, but it's mostly in flashbacks. This is about what happened after the camps were liberated and what did they do with all these people. There were like 1 million people who were displaced. Not all of them were Jewish, but there were 1 million people who were displaced. And it just, the policies and the government policies of what they, so like initially when the camps were liberated, many of these people ended up living in the camps where they had been, the concentration camps where they had been tortured. So it took some really strong points of view and thing like that to make living conditions better. For people in the camps to realize that, because the other thing they were doing is that Jews weren't considered a group. So if it was a Polish Jew, you were put with the Poles. Or if you were a Lithuanian Jew, you were put with the Lithuanians. Not realizing that there was as much anti-Semitism within those groups, and that they were better off. And once again, something they figured out, they were better off keeping the Jews together and having Jews-only camp that were, for the most part, run by Jews. So they had their own police force and stuff like that. And some of these camps lasted until 1957. And it was amazing. It was amazing, but not like totally surprising that nobody really wanted these people to come back home. A lot of these people went to go back to Poland and other places and realized that they weren't wanted there. And there were actually like what were called pogroms, meaning basic killings. I know they happened in Russia. I didn't realize that they had happened in Poland and other places. There was one where 43 Jews died. And this is after the war, and which forced a lot of Jews who were Polish and other things to go to Germany where they weren't from. So it's not a happy-go-lucky story, not at all. But I found it fascinating because I never, ever, ever thought about what did they do with these thousands and thousands. And like I said, they were called the last million. What did they do with all these people who were liberated, who were in hiding, who had found places, other places to go to avoid Hitler and the final solution. And this really gets into those stories. And like I said, I ended up going online and watching a number of videos to learn more about this because it just was a part of history that I never really thought about, or it just never occurred to me. So there's so many things we can learn about history, and like I said, the way I usually learn these things is by reading a historical fiction book or watching a documentary. So the book is called, and like I said, it's still like if you like Holocaust books, because there are people who do like Holocaust books, it's got all of that in it, but it's like it's mostly what was going on after the war and things like that. So this was, and the author even says that in her author's note, like she did not know, there was so much she didn't know. And that was the other thing about when I went online to watch and I saw interviews of people, like there were people who came to the United States and she's like, we didn't know this about our own history. So it's called They Went Left, and the author is Monica Hesse. Have a fantastic day. Keep on reading.